"Watch this. My boyfriend's about to cry," she said while live streaming me. So I quietly walked out. Now she's posting tearful apologies, begging for me back, while I don't even think about her anymore. Hey viewers, before we move on to the video, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button if you want to see more stories like this. Thanks. I never thought I'd be the kind of guy who ends up humiliated in front of strangers on the internet. I've always lived a pretty quiet life. I work in IT, not glamorous, but stable, pays well, and I actually like it. I'm not flashy. I don't post pictures of my food or film myself in the gym mirror. I'm just normal. My girlfriend, Rachel, was the opposite. She was addicted to attention, and not just in the casual, I like posting Instagram stories way. No, she lived for it. She had about 15,000 followers across TikTok and Instagram, and to her, that was everything. Every dinner was a photo op. Every weekend was content planning. She'd rather spend an hour setting up lighting than actually enjoying the meal. When we started dating, I thought it was cute. She seemed confident, bubbly, charismatic. She said I balanced her out, that I was the calm one. I liked that. I liked being the person she could come home to when she was done with her show. But slowly, the line between her online persona and real life blurred. She'd pick fights just so she could rant about relationship drama to her followers. She once made me redo my reaction to a gift because my first one wasn't TikTok worthy. It bothered me, but I told myself it was just her passion, like my job is mine. Still, there were cracks. She had this way of comparing me to imaginary guys that lived in her head: fitness model boyfriends, entrepreneur boyfriends, adventurous boyfriends. I'd be sitting there after working a 10-hour day, and she'd sigh. "Rachel, sometimes I wish you were more spontaneous. Like, I see these couples traveling to Bali and making content together. I want that." I'd just smile and say, "I'll try to plan more trips," but inside I wondered if I was ever really enough for her. I supported her, though, financially too. I paid most of the rent because her brand was still growing. I bought her a ring light for her birthday. I learned how to hold her phone steady for lives. I did the quiet, boring things: groceries, laundry, the stuff you don't post about. And I didn't complain. Because that's what you do when you love someone. You show up. What I didn't realize was that to Rachel, showing up wasn't good enough. She didn't want steady. She wanted an audience. And one night, she decided to get her content at my expense. But I'll get to that. At this point, I was still convinced things were okay. Sure, she teased me sometimes. Sure, she ignored me for her phone more than she should. But she'd also curl up with me at night. She'd tell me she loved me, and I believed it. I thought I was building a life with her. She thought she was building a brand. And eventually, those two things collided in the ugliest way possible. It happened on a Thursday night, one of those nothing special evenings when I just wanted to relax. I came home from work, dropped my bag by the door, and saw Rachel already in front of her ring light, makeup done, hair curled, talking to her phone. She didn't even glance at me when I walked in. Rachel, to the camera, "Hey guys. Just got my lashes done. Look at this glow. Okay, so tonight we're gonna talk relationships because some of y'all keep asking." I sighed and went into the kitchen. I wasn't mad. I was used to it. But I was tired. I made myself some pasta, scrolled through my emails, and waited for her to finish. About half an hour later, she came into the kitchen still holding her phone. "Rachel, can you not be so loud with the dishes? They can hear you." Me. "Rachel, I just got home. I'm literally rinsing a plate." Rachel, rolling her eyes, "God, you're always so defensive." She turned the camera toward herself again and lowered her voice to a mock whisper. Rachel, to her viewers, "See? He's always like this. Sensitive. Like chill." Her comments section lit up with laughing emojis. I could hear the ping of hearts. I set the plate down, drying my hands. Me. "Can we talk later? Like off camera?" Rachel, "Babe, relax. I'm just joking around." She pointed the phone toward me. My face was suddenly on her live stream. Tired, in work clothes, clearly not in on the joke. Rachel, "Okay guys, watch this. My boyfriend's about to cry because I told him I'm seeing someone hotter. Ready?" She laughed, a sharp, mocking sound. Rachel, to me, still filming, "Seriously though, I could have guys lined up if I wanted. Do you know how many DMs I get? Like, you should be grateful I'm with you." The comments popped up in a flood, savage face with tears of joy. "Girl, you can do better. Dump him LOL. I just stood there, frozen. My chest felt hollow, like someone had scooped the air out of me. She was waiting for me to react, for me to fight back, or cry, or storm out so she could spin it into content. I didn't give her that. I just looked at her, really looked at her, and I realized something. This wasn't a bad joke. This was who she was. Without a word, I turned, walked past her, and went into our bedroom. Rachel, off camera, still laughing. See? He's so dramatic. He'll be back in 5 minutes. Watch. She kept talking to her phone while I pulled out a suitcase from under the bed. My hands were steady. I folded clothes, packed essentials. In the background, I could hear her giggling, still feeding her audience lines. She didn't even notice the sound of the zipper closing. When I walked out with my bag, she blinked, confused. Rachel, wait, where are you going? Babe, are you seriously doing this right now? I was kidding. I didn't answer. I didn't look at her phone. I didn't look at her. I walked out the door and left her midstream, her followers still watching. And that was the last time Rachel saw me in our apartment. The night air hit me like a slap when I stepped outside with my suitcase. It wasn't even cold, but I felt a chill run down my arms. I kept walking, past the cars, past the mailboxes, past the noise of her voice bleeding through the apartment window. I didn't slam the door. I didn't yell. I didn't explain myself to her, or to her audience. I just left. I drove to a friend's place across town. He was surprised when I showed up at his door with a suitcase, but he didn't ask too many questions. He just let me crash on his couch. That night, while he slept, I lay there staring at the ceiling. My phone buzzed with notifications, texts, missed calls, DMs. From Rachel, where are you going? Seriously? You're making me look crazy on Live RN. Babe, come back. It was a joke. Don't be so sensitive. The messages kept coming until I turned my phone off. I didn't reply. Not once. The next day, I went back to the apartment while she was out. I knew her schedule. She always hit a certain cafe before filming. I used that window to grab the rest of my stuff. Clothes, laptop, toiletries. I left the ring light I bought her, the furniture I built, the little things we'd shared. I didn't want any of it. I left the keys on the counter. No note. No explanations. Just silence. Then I blocked her on everything. Instagram, TikTok, phone, even email. And for the first time in years, I felt something I hadn't felt with Rachel in a long time. Peace. It wasn't easy, though. Don't get me wrong, the betrayal burned. My mind replayed the scene over and over. Her smug laugh. The way the comments egged her on. The phone pointing at me like I was just another piece of her content. But I refused to let her drag me into the mud. If I fought, if I begged, if I tried to defend myself, it would only become more material for her. So I chose silence. Days turned into weeks. My friend offered his spare room, and I paid rent to keep things fair. I started running in the mornings, something I hadn't done in years. It cleared my head, helped me rebuild a routine. Through the grapevine, I started hearing little bits of news about Rachel. Not from her directly. She was still blocked, but from mutual acquaintances. Apparently, the clip from that live stream didn't just vanish. People screen recorded it, shared it. It circulated beyond her little bubble. The comments that once laughed along started turning on her. Words like toxic, abusive, attention-seeking. Brands she'd been courting for sponsorships stopped responding. One mutual friend told me, "Honestly, dude, people think she's mean now. No one wants to collab with her." I didn't celebrate. I didn't need to. Karma was doing its job. I just kept my head down, worked out, focused on my career, and stayed silent. And silence turned out to be the loudest response of all. A month after I left, I got a text from a mutual friend. "Bro, have you seen Rachel's latest video?" Yikes. I hadn't. She was still blocked everywhere. But curiosity got the better of me, so my friend sent me a link. The video was supposed to be a story time, but it was really just her trying to spin the narrative. She sat in her decorated little filming corner, fake tears painted on, and said, "My ex abandoned me. Out of nowhere. He left me with bills, left me heartbroken, left me when I needed him most." Of course, she left out the part about broadcasting my private life to thousands of strangers. She left out the part about humiliating me live. But the internet didn't buy it. The comments section wasn't the wall of sympathy she expected. Instead, it was brutal. "Girl, wasn't this the same guy you humiliated on live? Didn't you call him your charity case boyfriend?" "Nah, This isn't adding up. Sounds like he finally respected himself enough to leave. Her attempt at playing the victim backfired hard. That was the start of her downfall. The brand deals she used to brag about? They dried up. Companies didn't want to be associated with someone whose name was suddenly tied to toxic and cruel. Even her TikTok friends distanced themselves. Nobody wants to stand too close when a ship starts sinking. One of her clips even ended up on Reddit. Not in the polished, influencer way she wanted, but in a thread titled, "This girl mocked her boyfriend on live. Now she's crying that he left." Thoughts? It blew up. Thousands of comments, most of them tearing her apart. Meanwhile, I was quietly thriving. Work was steady. My runs turned into a routine. I started lifting weights too, putting on muscle I never had before. The stress that once ate at me was gone. Rachel, on the other hand, was scrambling. More little updates trickled in. She posted a teary video about cancel culture, begging people to give her a second chance. That got even worse reception. She went live again, but the chat was filled with people spamming, "Where's the charity case?" and apologized to him. She couldn't escape the reputation she built for herself. The cruelest part? She did it all with her own phone, her own camera, her own need for attention. I never had to say a word. I never clapped back. I never explained. I never defended myself. And yet, the world saw her for who she really was. It was about 3 months after I left when she finally broke through the wall of silence. Not directly. She was still blocked everywhere. But she found a way. One morning, I opened my email at work and there it was. Subject, "Please just hear me out." She'd made a new account to contact me. The message was long. Pages of excuses, apologies, half-truths wrapped in, "I didn't mean it that way, and you know I love you, right?" She wrote things like, "It was just a joke. I never thought it would hurt you like that. You know I was stressed about growing my platform. I wasn't thinking straight. I miss us. I miss you. Please, can we talk?" And then the kicker, "I know I messed up, but don't you think 3 years together is worth one mistake?" I didn't reply. Not out of anger. Not even out of spite. Just, there was nothing left to say. A week later, I started hearing from friends again. Apparently, Rachel had been telling anyone who would listen that she just wanted closure. That she deserved a chance to explain. Translation, she wanted a redemption arc. Then came the video. I didn't watch it. A friend described it to me. She sat there on camera again. This time no makeup, tears running down, saying, "I lost the best man I ever had. He was kind, supportive, always there for me. And I threw it away for views. If you're watching this, I'm sorry. Please come back." The comments were brutal. "Girl, he's not watching this. You're only sorry because you got exposed. You mocked him in front of thousands. He doesn't owe you closure." I almost felt embarrassed for her. Almost. But sympathy wasn't in the cards. While she was busy publicly unraveling, my life was moving forward. My career was on track. My mornings were disciplined. I had energy again, focus I hadn't felt in years. I wasn't bitter. I wasn't angry. I was free. And nothing Rachel said, not the emails, not the sobbing videos, not the desperate messages through mutuals, could touch that. Because when I walked out of that apartment with my suitcase, I didn't just leave her. I left the version of myself who would have stayed. It happened at a mutual friend's birthday dinner. I hadn't planned on seeing Rachel, but there she was, sitting at the far end of the table, eyes widening when she spotted me. I was with someone new, Emma. Smart, grounded, funny. The difference between her and Rachel was night and day. Halfway through the night, Rachel cornered me outside while I was grabbing fresh air. Her voice cracked. "Rachel, can we please just talk? I miss you. I made a mistake, okay? He wasn't what I thought, and I see that now. You were the best thing I ever had." I looked at her for a long second. The desperation in her eyes was real, but so was the emptiness in mine. "Me. You said you wanted someone more exciting. Someone with followers, someone you could brag about. You made that choice, and I made mine. Rachel, but we had years together. Don't you care about that?" "Me. Not anymore. I don't carry dead weight into my future." She flinched. For once, she didn't have a comeback. I turned and walked back inside to Emma, who smiled and squeezed my hand like I was the only person in the room. Rachel stayed outside, alone, and that's how it ended. Not with a fight, not with drama, just with her realizing she no longer mattered. I wasn't her safety net. I wasn't her backup plan. I was gone, and better without her. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. What do you think about this story? Share it in the comments.